I don't want to be strong like man who look pretty. I want to be strong like bitch that fight bears in the forest.
Welcome to another episode of Bitch vs. Bear with your hosts, me, Amber, my bestie, Sydney.
Woohoo!
We are co-owners of Shield Maiden Training Co., and this is a show where we bitch, laugh, and chat about, I don't know, fucking everything. Mostly fitness and wellness related, but really anything we think of that is related to women and the LGBTQIA plus community.
Yeah, I can tie a lot of things back to fitness and wellness, as you have probably heard if you've been listening for a while.
We talk about whatever we want. It's our show. We can do what we want.
Yeah.
Great.
Speaking of doing what we want, what are we doing today, Amber?
Something that I don't want, Sydney.
I know.
And you know it so well.
Do you feel like I just target you for things?
I do, because you do.
I do not.
You do.
I think about generally what the world needs, and then usually it's applicable to you.
It's rude is what it is. All right. Today's episode is all about movement as medicine. Sweet and survival, if you will. This is how physical activity can help regulate anxiety, soothe trauma, and reconnect us with our bodies. So important. We're diving into the science behind movement and mental health with a special focus on how this plays out for women, queer folks, and trans people.
Our core demographic, really.
I mean, yeah. The people we really want to talk to and about. We'll also share practical workout tips, somatic practices, and tools you can use to feel grounded, whether that's on a yoga mat, a climbing wall, or just walking around the block. It's going to be a long episode.
Yep.
That's a lot to cover. That's very ambitious, Sydney.
Yeah. I mean, if you're someone who's ever or currently struggling with anxiety, depression, or gender dysphoria, this episode really is for you. Like movement to us isn't just about fitness. It is about survival. And we have enough data and enough research that tells us that. So if people are like, oh, it's just about my fitness, it's like, no, it's not. Movement is, and it always has been, about, you know, and a lot of ways medicine, right? Like there's a reason that after you have major surgery, they try and get you up and moving as quick as possible. Yeah, there's a correlation there. Huh. Shocker.
All right. Well then, let's start with the nervous system. Anxiety often shows up as a fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Jesus, how many are we going to add to this? Often shows up as a fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response. It's your body going into overdrive to protect you, even when there's no actual threat. What is a fawn going to do to protect you?
You know, that's a really good question. I actually like this new setup that we have right here.
Because you can Google things.
Yeah. Okay. Fawn response to stress. Fawn response to stress refers to coping mechanism where someone tries to avoid conflict by excessively pleasing others, becoming overly agreeable, and prioritizing their needs to the point of neglecting their own. Essentially acting like a fawn to appease a perceived threat. You're welcome.
All right.
Yeah, so there you go. So, this is where movement comes in. Well, one of the places movement comes in. Okay. Exercise helps to discharge excess energy, release endorphins, which we've talked a lot about, and activate the parasympathetic nervous system as part of your body that says, hey, it's okay. You can relax now. It's okay. You can relax now. Well, this way, the way you're doing, if we fake it till we make it in this scenario where we're exercising and we're trying to fake our body into saying, hey, it's safe, you can relax now. Like,
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. So research also shows that rhythmic movement, like walking, running, climbing, or even drumming, can regulate breathing and heart rate, syncing them to create a sense of calm. And a dopamine boost.
Yay, we love the dopamine.
Movement literally rewires our brain chemistry, which is why it's a powerful tool for people navigating trauma, anxiety, and even depression.
Yeah. Okay.
This will probably not cure those things, but it could help with your symptoms.
Exactly. Okay. So one of the examples that I think about a lot is rock climbing because
Shocker.
it is one of those activities that forces you to be completely present.
Mm.
So when you're on the wall, your brain doesn't have time to spiral about emails or what you said to your boss last week or the conflict with your roommate. It's all about problem solving and trusting your body. And that focus can be incredibly grounding for people dealing with overthinking or panic attacks.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
also a form of exposure therapy. You're facing fear, whether that's a fear of falling or failure, and proving to yourself that you can survive it. Plus,
Mm-hmm.
climbing fosters community, which we love.
Love community.
So, for queer and trans folks, especially, finding inclusive spaces can be life changing. And we talk
Mm-hmm.
about that a lot.
Yeah.
Gyms that focus on body positivity and gender inclusion create room for connection and support that's just as healing as the workout itself. I know there's a lot of rock climbing gyms that have very specific nights. So, like, they'll have, women's night or
Mm-hmm.
a pride night so that those folks feel more included. There's even gyms like ours where we make sure we offer instruction and kind of a group setting of learning how to climb. So for we call it the Women's Plus Clinic,
Mm-hmm.
Women Plus all of the other
Yes.
folks. And it's quite, again, it creates that safe space and it's a much smaller group. So you're not just going in and trying to like look around and find, it's much more structured. So I think that that's some of the ways that climbing can be really helpful and gyms are particularly helping the inclusive environment is by setting aside nights and times for people to come in and climb with other folks who look and identify similarly to them.
That's great. I love that. All right, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about yoga and somatic practices. While climbing tends to be high energy, yoga slows things down, which is why it's my preferred method of movement. It's all about breath, movement, and awareness. And that is key for trauma survivors. Shocker. Anxiety often disconnects us from our bodies. Yoga invites you to feel sensations without judgment, even when those sensations are uncomfortable, which they often are in yoga, let's be honest. And there's research showing that yoga activities and there's research showing that yoga activates the vagus nerve, which regulates your stress response. Long exhales, gentle stretches, and grounding poses literally tell your brain you're safe. Everything's fine. Chill the fuck out.
Huh.
Yeah.
I did not know that it activates the vagus nerve. That's kind of cool. I mean, it makes sense like when you think about it, but like
Yeah.
when you're not like obviously in the moment, it's kind of hard to think about. I'm just
really
thinking
thinking
don't
about
fall
much.
over.
I mean, yeah. And I think that's where it correlates with climbing, right? It's an activity that requires your full focus on your body and your movement, what you're doing.
Yeah.
Which is so great. Breath work is another huge and vital tool here. I talk about breath work in pretty much every class I teach because it's so important. It's all about that relegating that nervous system, right? That we talked about earlier. Setting your breathing so that you have, oh my God, I can't talk right now.
It's really unfortunate since we're doing a podcast, which is, I don't know if you know this, talking.
I know, right? When you regulate your breathing and create even inhales and exhales, and particularly, like I just said, focus on longer exhales, it tells the nervous system you are not in fight or flight or freeze or fawn situation.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why I love it. and I talk about it with my students too. Techniques like box breathing, which is even exhales, holds, and inhales.
We used to do those a lot with students on course who were
So good.
like, needing that time after like a big kind of
Mhm.
stressful event.
Yes.
Box breathing. And it's so easy to
Because
like
it regulates
teach.
the nervous system.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so easy, like literally
Right.
children can do it.
I mean,
Like
yeah, it's so simple. There's even tools out there. I saw one, it's like a little Buddha that like lights so that you know when to like, you
Oh,
can like
that's
keep
cool.
time and not have to count in your head. It's so great. Um, you can also use an alternate nostril breathing, which can calm the nervous system as well.
Mm,
So breathing techniques seem, I feel like they're like highly underrated. They're
mm,
so critical and so, not critical, but so effective in
mm.
managing anxiety and
Yeah.
helping manage your symptoms
I
when
feel like
anxious.
breathing techniques get that whole like, oh, well, you're so like woo woo, like doing
It's
breathing techniques. And it's
it's
like,
not woo-woo, it's science.
it's not woo woo, it's science.
Which
Yeah.
we live in America, so science is woo-woo to some people.
True.
Okay. For people dealing with gender dysphoria, yoga can be a way to reclaim the body. I love this. Poses that feel strong, expansive, or gentle can shift your relationship with yourself without judgment.
Yeah, they really can. I would say, like so many people who went through the roller coaster of like, I didn't have anything else to do, so I like got kind of fit during like super fit during the pandemic and those kinds of things. And then, you can't sustain that because you have to go back to work and do your
Yeah.
normal job and like all those kinds of things. But like one of the things about yoga is like you can do it at any size. And
Yeah.
it also shows you like how fit you still are. Like your body might have changed, but like that underlying like you're like, oh, I can still hold this pose. I can still
Mhm.
do these things is so empowering to be like, oh, well, just because my body looks different in a mirror, it doesn't mean that I've lost any of that ability or that I
Mhm.
can't still move my body in the way that I used to.
Yes. Absolutely. I love that. And it's that mind-body connection, you know. I can't speak obviously firsthand, but I could imagine that for folks dealing with gender dysphoria,
Mm,
it they probably don't feel super connected to their body.
yeah.
And yoga can be a really great way to bring that into alignment and create that time to focus on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that too.
All right. So if you're listening, and I hope you are, and thinking, okay, but where do I start? Sydney, where did they start?
Okay. So I would say keep it simple, stupid. No, start with 5 minutes a
But
day, right? Because we can like 5 minutes, but you don't realize what 5 minutes can accomplish.
Mhm.
So like you in 5 minutes you can walk around the block. In 5 minutes you can have a dance party in your kitchen, like put on two songs that you absolutely love and like dance around your kitchen. In 5 minutes you can do a plank, hold for
Mm.
30 seconds, drop for 30 seconds while your coffee brews, and then you have done a very good long plank like core workout, right? The
Yeah.
goal isn't a perfect workout, it's consistency. So like if you can commit 5 minutes in the morning or 5 minutes whenever and pair it with something else that's already going on. That's why I like the brewing coffee, or like
Mhm.
you're in the kitchen making breakfast, dance while you're making breakfast, then that's going to help.
Totally.
And we've just talked about how important and underrated breath work is. So
Mhm.
pair movement with breath work.
Yes.
So even weightlifting can be meditative if you focus on the inhale, lift, exhale, lower. So like in that moment you can have breath work going on even if you're not sitting and doing a breath work session, which
Mhm.
for some people who are not as comfortable doing that, it is a good way. It's like your tester, right? Like you're dipping your
Yeah.
toe in the water of breath work that way.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah. And then we talk about this all the time, right? Like you're not going to do something that, well, most people won't do something that isn't fun, right? Like
Yeah.
I'll do type 2 fun. Like,
I won't.
yeah, exactly. So don't forget to make it fun. Like people not like don't forget about like roller skating. Like
Oh my
go
God, yes.
or ice skating, hockey, swimming, hiking. Like if you hate the treadmill, don't get on the fucking treadmill. Like stop forcing yourself. Like we talk about resistance a lot, right? Like and building up your kind of just like ability to take on. But as
Mhm.
people who face a lot of that shit all the time, also we don't have to put ourselves in consistently uncomfortable positions because we get it from all sides.
Mhm.
So if you fucking hate the treadmill, get off the treadmill.
Yeah.
Like movement isn't punishment. And if we're talking
No.
about movement as medicine and what's keeping you from moving is that the equipment or the thing, you're like, this is the only way for me to move. It's not true.
It's not
So
true.
find the fun thing that makes you move. Like if you want to
Mhm.
go to like a pole class, go to a
Oh
pole
my God.
class, right?
Yes.
Like so hard. Like I cannot, and I'm, yeah. Like there's
It's
just
going to be
so
hard.
it's gonna be hard. But like if that's the thing that you're like, I've always wanted to do this, well, go do it. Like if I've
Yeah.
always wanted to try roller derby, go do it. Like go engage in something fun. You're gonna be able to stay more consistent and in a time when we're like movement is medicine, that's the key, right? Like
Yeah.
consistency is key. We don't need in this like time, we don't need to be like, I'm doing this to make myself a stronger and more mentally secure. Like those things are going to come if you can build in consistency. So do
Mhm.
the fun things.
Yeah.
Don't be like, I'm going to go run for a mile on the treadmill at a 5 incline and kill myself and then never go do it again because that's not going to help.
No. No. Just go move your body in a way that feels good.
Yeah.
I love it. And for trauma sensitive practices, check out instructors that are certified in trauma informed yoga or somatic experiencing therapy. Because
Which
they're
is
out there.
really cool. It's
Yeah.
they're out there. It's super cool. Okay. There is it's not really an elephant in the room, but it is an elephant in the gym maybe. Gender dysphoria in
Mm,
and fitness spaces. Like for trans folks, even walking into a gym can be anxiety inducing. Locker
totally.
rooms, mirrors, gendered classes, gendered
Mm,
equipment. It's a minefield that they step into.
totally.
Yeah.
It's so tough. But that's why it's so important to find queer friendly spaces or even work out at home if public spaces feel unsafe, which, like, totally get that right now. The goal is feeling better, not fitting into toxic fitness standards. Like we just talked about, if you're not happy, if you're not comfortable where you are doing that thing, you're not going to do it.
Yep.
You're going to go once and hate it and then never go back.
Exactly.
Oh, and let's talk about clothes.
Amber's favorite.
Yes. Wearing gear that feels affirming, and I'll add comfortable, whether that's a sports binder or compression leggings, makes such a huge difference in how you show up for yourself.
True story. I got Amber to start working out because I showed her all the fun shoes
There's so
and
many shoes.
that come in like fun color. And she was like, all right. Like, and then went and got a bunch of shoes, bunch of like fun workout gear, like tailored, like coordinated everything. And I was like,
Yes.
okay, well, sometimes this is the key to unlocking is like fun clothing.
Y'all, there's so much fun workout clothing.
It's true. And I think Amber owns 90% of it.
I've scaled back a little because my clothes started shrinking. And I could no longer wear them.
Oh, is that what we're calling it these days?
That is what's happened. Yes.
Cool. Just
Like the snow
push.
pants that didn't fit when I moved to Maine.
Yeah.
They shrank, obviously,
In
in the
the
warm Richmond weather.
Yeah, the humid, warm Richmond weather. You know, actually, that might be true.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Really, the bottom line of all of this is movement isn't about burning calories or losing weight. It's about survival. It's
And
a
fun
way
clothes.
and fun clothes and fun clothes. It's really a way to say, I'm here, I'm alive, and I deserve to feel safe in my body.
Mhm.
So whether you're battling anxiety, you're healing some trauma, or you're just trying to get through a tough week, tough month, tough year,
Tough 4 years.
movement is a tool it's not a cure, but try and think of it as a companion, right?
Mhm.
Like that's the way, is like it's a tool, not a cure.
A very cute, well-dressed companion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know if you've all ever seen Gracie dressed up, which is Amber's little dog, but she has some great outfits. So that's how I knew that Amber would be into going to workout classes with cute gear, because I was like, she likes to dress the dog up.
Okay.
We can play on this.
Most of her clothing is, while cute, also functional because we lived in Maine and
So
she
is
got
workout gear.
cold.
Workout gear is both cute and functional.
Yes.
So,
Just
see?
trying to say, I don't just like dress up my dog for funsies. And
No,
the
you
outfits
don't.
that she does have for funsies were given to her by other people.
I may be one of those people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her onesie pajamas are cute and functional.
They are.
All right. Just remember, whether you're climbing, stretching, or dancing in your living room, movement isn't about perfection. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to look good doing it, except for maybe your clothes. It's really about showing up for yourself, doing things that feel good and make you feel good.
Yeah. And remember, it's okay if it doesn't necessarily feel awesome in the moment. Just like wait 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and then you're going to be like, oh, I feel better from moving. Like that was good. That was good.
Mhm.
That me after every run. Like literally, I'm on the run. Like I fucking hate this. I fucking
Yeah.
hate this. And then because I'm a psychopath. I don't run
Obvi.
with headphones in. I just listen to my chunky butt going, hey, but actually that's how I do breathe work, is like, because I know not to inhale and exhale on every like footfall. So like it's a cadence.
Mhm.
But usually what happens is I start thinking about my breath and then I get distracted. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm further along than I thought I was. And then I end, and then I'm like, okay, that wasn't so bad. And then I think I'll do that again tomorrow. And then I start and I hate it, but then I focus on my breath and then I'm further along and then I end and then I think I'll do that again tomorrow. And that is how I start running. I ran 3 times last week.
Good job.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I saw that you had some box fitness on your Whoop.
I did. I worked
Did you go
out.
to a class?
No, I did my own little workout a couple times at the gym.
Nice.
Last Thursday I did, what did I do? I did this to myself.
Mm.
I did some benching, I did some calf work because I got a cool new calf tattoo that I really want to show off, but I want to make sure my calves look good. And then I was like, okay, I am gonna do like a kettlebell, like a kind of kettlebelly core workout. So I did kettlebell swings,
Mm.
sit-ups, and burpees. So like a lot of
Ew.
hinging. And I just set a 15-minute timer and was like, I'm just gonna go for 15 minutes. I'm not gonna try and I'm not setting a goal for like how many rounds, none of that. Made it through 8 rounds. There was 1 minute left and I just stopped. I was like, I was like, there's one, it's whatever.
It's fine.
Yeah. I like did like 4 kettlebell swings. I was like, why? Yeah, so I did some box fitness. It was great. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform and or social media where we like interactions.
Interactions, yes.
Interactions, yes. Leave a comment there. Hit that like button. Well,
We like to see it. It makes us feel good.
it does. Yeah. That's a wrap.
Great.
So, whether you're lifting weights or lifting each other up, let's keep breaking barriers, building strength, and embracing our rainbow of resilience, especially right now. Until next time, stay fierce and stay fabulous.